Here is probably the funniest thing next to Assassin's Creed all week was Lord of the Rings.
I haven't even seen the teaser.
We're not going to watch
bother
it.
looking at it.
Almost at 500,000 dislikes.
Ooh.
What do you think about that? That one? What's that thing that Amazon's making? The War of the Rohirrim?
That's not Amazon. That's Warner Brothers.
That's Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's being written by Philippa Boyens.
Is it true that they're like gender bending the main character?
That's what I heard. I wouldn't be surprised. We're gonna find out soon. We're gonna get a trailer pretty soon.
Okay.
The balls on Warner, just dragging them all over Amazon's face.
That was
literally
funny.
Did they even tease that they were going to drop this? They just stealth launched this trailer on top of it, and it was fucking glorious. And I love that you get to see right away.
Well, and it makes me wonder.
The chat got it. Ruth is going to be Sabra. So that's going to be the Israeli character, and they just called her Ruth.
Oh,
Did they really fucking?
My God.
Really?
Are you serious?
Really?
Oh
no!
That's funny.
You know how politically charged that's going to be, and how insufferable.
Well done.
Holy shit, dude, that's going to be horrible.
No, what I think happened with this Warner Brothers thing is I think they got word that they were going to drop their Rings of Power trailer at some point, so they dropped that Peter Jackson news. And then I think they missed the window correctly, so then they're like, well, fuck it, let's do our other trailer
they rushed
too.
the Rings of Power one because of the Peter Jackson, because I think they were going to wait till
that could be too. Yeah.
I mean, it looks terrible. It looks objectively terrible. And it's going to be kind of like a Wheel of Time season 2. Like you'll get some memes out of it, but people aren't going to pay attention like the first one because nobody's going to take this seriously. I mean, it's just
only 33% of the people who started watching it finished it.
Yep.
That's so bad. I can't wait to see how many people come back for this show. Like,
well, criticism.
They stopped. I was just gonna say they stopped reporting on the ratings. If you remember, after like the first
they did.
two.
They did. So they're retroactively trying to fix some of the lore they should have done in season 1, right? Bringing in Anatar, and it's so fucking stupid. It just makes it dumber at this point. So they obviously, the criticism did get in their heads, and they are trying to readjust. But the fact is that you spent this much money and you didn't know what the fuck you were doing. And now you're just you're responding to fan criticism, which was the majority of fandom, to fix it in season 2 shows how little they know what they're doing. And then in the meantime, you have HBO spend shitloads of money on a franchise that people were pissed at. Like, other than Game of Thrones channels on YouTube that were praying for it to be okay. Like, people were done with Game of Thrones, and it showed. Even the beginning of House of the Dragon had good ratings, but they as Rings of Power was losing 2/3 of its audience, the Rings of Power almost doubled its audience.
Vice versa, but
they flipped it around, and it's legit a good show.
Well, and there's even more hilarity to that, because it was kind of like Amazon can't stop losing in this situation, because the guy who is responsible for the House of the Dragon show was actually the guy who was heading up their Conan show over at Amazon.
Brian Kendall and Miguel Sapochnik. Yep.
Yeah. So he came over there, and then he just crushed their Lord of the Rings. And then the other thing I don't think people are understanding, because I've seen a lot of people going like they're having a little resistance to this Gollum thing. And look, the thing might be shit, but it's still going to be 10 times better than anything Amazon puts out. And you got to understand what Peter Jackson and Warner Brothers were doing here. They were literally smearing this shit in Amazon's face. If you read that press release, they talk about Professor Tolkien and how important it is to protect the lore and all that kind of stuff. And then this whole thing is basically because people are like, well, it's just a sentence or a paragraph out of the book. How's he going to make a movie out of that? I'm like, that's the point. He's doing exactly what Amazon's doing, but he's going, here, hold my beer. I'll show you how it's done. By having Andy Serkis come in and make a Gollum movie first. And we don't even know what the second project's going to be. It could even be him directing like something from the Silmarillion or something like that. We have no idea yet.
We'll see.
I've heard that Amazon also cut a big check to Warner Brothers so they could use some of the characters in the Rings of Power. So I'm curious which ones will pop up.
I I have more faith in the stuff Warner Brothers is doing than fucking.
That's what I mean. Like even the worst shit in The Hobbit ain't nothing.
I want to
compared
watch
to this.
that. What is that movie? The animated movie? I'm gonna. That looks good.
Roar. I can't pronounce it.
Rohirrim.
Rohirrim. Yeah.
Yeah. Here
Apparently, from what I was hearing, they're gonna make like the daughter, who's barely like acknowledged in the book or something.
Yeah.
She's gonna become the main character. Just.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Hayden 75 for 20 says Ruth is Sabra. When I looked it up, that's who I found. Ruth Bat Seraph, the first agent of Mossad, LMAO.
Dude, that's like I'm telling you right now. You think things are insufferable now? Just wait until you have a pro-Israeli superhero, and all these fucking kids with the pro-Palestine thing. That's gonna be nuclear. Oh God. But good luck. Good luck to Disney. That's all I'm gonna say.
Unless she denounces her.
That's why they're calling her Ruth.
Ruth.
It's Ruth.
Isn't that the latest thing? Is all these. Anyway,
I don't want to.
I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah,
going back to that trailer.
Yeah.
Going back to that trailer and Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, or Rings of Power, I should say. It's interesting seeing like a lot more trailers now being ratioed. Like it never used to be. You never used to see it as much as this. I don't think. Nearly everything these days.
The general public is waking up.
That's right. The normies are now starting to see it, starting to see the problems with it. It's not entertaining for them anymore.
Well, they can't exactly all put their fingers on it, but I've had a lot of conversations with family members, friends, and such over the last few months and weeks over this. And I do try to make a point to bring it up, as far as certain things like, what did you think about this? What did you think about that? And the responses have slowly turned into, I just don't like it, or there's this or that bothers me about it. And then some people just don't quite know what to put their finger on, but it's like, it just went completely fucking gay. Yeah. Like they'll say shit like that, and it's like, and they're like, I don't mean that to be derogatory, but it's like, I mean, come on. Like, cause like a good example is like the Chucky stuff. Cause I watched the first 2 seasons of that and I had a friend of mine who's really into that stuff too. And he kind of checked out too for the same reason. He's like, what the fuck is it with TV and everything having to be gay now? And I kind of explained everything to him. He's like, that's really fucking stupid.
Because everybody in Hollywood's gay.
Yeah. It's like, it's just this, I had to explain the whole entire movement to him and everything. And he, he understood, but he's just like, that
took him forever.
Not really. I just kind of did the quick version of it.
Oh, yeah. Breaking news here. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure for 20. Also, my Hollywood sources have confirmed that George Lucas was in Kathleen Kennedy's office last week wearing a MAGA hat. Proceeded to scream at her
with Gina Carano
that woke was coming to an end at Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm is
JK Anon.
Because no one's going to watch The Acolyte, so.
No. Hey,
I love that they give the black guy a whip.
Lightsaber whip, and they gave it to a black guy.
Yeah. Did you see how it works? Like it's this solid lightsaber, and then turns into a whip.
Dude, and you see, all the people like they did it in the comics, and they probably did it in a book, and I don't care. And my response is, it was fucking retarded then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Give me lightsaber nunchucks. Okay, let's make Shad happy. Jesus,
that would make me happy
lightsaber
too.
Nunchucks are next. Yeah,
dual bladed is about as far as you can take it, right? Like I think. Like at that point, Lucas is like, what's the coolest thing I can do? This is it. At that point, you can't do anything cooler than that. He even knew that. Yeah. That's why he never even tried again after that.